Welcome back to my channel for this week's Human Design Transit Report. Today is Monday, November 11th, and the transit that we're in right now, I talked about in last week's transit report. So if you want to find out what's happening between now and Thursday, you should go and watch that transit report, because today I'm going to focus on the transit that begins on Friday, November 11th, the day of new beginnings. Okay, let's get started. Okay, 11/11, the day of new beginnings. In the esoteric tradition, there are all kinds of stories, myths, understandings about 11/11 being a portal into new beginnings. And boy, do we have a humdinger of a transit that is starting on Friday, 11/11. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to just take a look at the chart here. And I want to give you a little bit of an overview, and then we'll dive in more. So you'll see that the sun is going to move into the gate 43, and the earth is going to move into the gate 23, which is this really beautiful channel here, which connects the ajna to the throat, right? It's the right here in the knowing circuit. And oh, by the way, if you haven't already seen it, the video that I put out last week in the intuition series talked all about the knowing circuit, and that is really relevant for what we're going to talk about today. So if you want to, you can go and check that out, because I think you're going to find this very, very interesting. Okay, back to the 4323. So the 4323 is here, but take a look at this. You'll also see that Mercury and Venus are in the gate 43. So there are three different activations in the gate 43. In addition to that, the nodes of the moon are still in the 1-2, where they've been for a while, okay, also in the knowing circuit. Then Uranus is in the gate 2 also, which is where the magnetic monopole is. And if that wasn't enough, Mars is in the gate 12, which is also in the knowing circuit. So this means that 10 out of 13 possible activations in this transit are in the knowing circuit. Okay, 10 out of 13. That's a lot. Okay, so let's just think about this for a second. The knowing circuit, and like I said, go watch that video, you'll hear a lot more about it. But the knowing circuit is individual circuitry. It's here to be different. It's here to bring change. It's mutative. It doesn't fit in, and it's on the leading edge of consciousness. Right? And the 4323 is a super powerful channel that is going to be defining this ajna and defining this throat. So it means that we're going to have extra energy. And then here we go. We have Mercury lighting this up too, right? Which is what we're here to talk about. And so this is also lighting up the 43. So there's all this energy being focused during this transit, which is coming through the portal of new beginnings, for us to be able to be expressing really out of the box, leading edge ideas. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I am so big on these leading edge ideas that we need to help us to make our way through these big challenges we have here on planet Earth, whether that we're talking about climate change or ecological collapse, or, systemic racism and sexism, or radical economic inequality around the world. I mean, there's so many different things that we need some really breakthrough ideas to help us to know how to make it through this time, because our old ways of thinking are simply not going to help us, right? I spend a lot of my time, like praying, saying, okay, help us, please send some breakthrough ideas through this knowing circuit. So during this transit, there's a potential for all kinds of things to be coming in. And I really want to encourage you to be receptive, to be open to the intuition that comes in for you through the knowing circuit, to be open to the intuitive ideas that come through other people, to be in a big state of openness and wonder and delight and joy, and really to have a positive sense of anticipation about what can be possible during this time. Okay, the sun and Mercury and Venus all in the gate 43. So the gate 43 is known as insight, both in traditional human design and in quantum human design. It is known as a highly, highly intuitive gate. It's in the ajna, and it has received these breakthrough ideas that come in here through that 6124, right? And so it's come down through the ajna, and then it wants to express out through that throat, which is through the 23. The 43 is famously known as the genius freak gate. And the reason it's called that is that the ideas can be either considered genius, wow, that's incredible, what are we going to do with that? Or freaky, like, oh man, where'd you get that? That's like, And it has nothing to do actually with the energy itself, or the ideas, or the concepts, or the, possibilities and images. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the receptivity, the way that it's been received. But it's really deeply insight, right? And so we want to be able to share anything that's coming in there at the right time with the right people in the right situation. So we've got Mercury there that's wanting to talk about it, right? Wanting to stimulate it. But then Venus is here saying, okay, how does this fit with our values, right? What are our values around expressing our insights, right? And for me, some of the values I have around expressing insights that I have is that I want to do it in a way that's going to be effective and impactful in a positive way, where I'm going to be able to be providing energy and I'm going to receive energy back. Because here's the thing, when you share your golden nuggets, right, with people who either aren't ready to receive them or are not receptive to receiving them, then you don't get any energy back. You actually get drained because you're putting your energy out, right? And there's basically no structure for that energy to grab onto and then to come back to you. But when you share them in a situation where people are seeing this as genius, right, or at least as really interesting, and they're receptive and open to it, then they're going to be sending energy back to you and you're going to be getting energy back. And what we always want is this kind of reciprocity, right? Energy exchange, right? You're putting out energy, you're receiving energy back, right? Somebody else is sharing energy with you, you give energy back to them, right? This is right relationship in terms of our energy lives, right? So you really want to be doing that with this that's coming in here through this 4323. Now, the Earth in the gate 23, the 23 is known as assimilation in traditional human design and transmission in quantum human design. Now, assimilation, what does that mean? It means that we're taking from that 43 these ideas that are really, you might be really out there. How do we assimilate them in, right? Well, assimilation is okay to a degree, provided that you're not really getting rid of the essence of the thing, right? You want the essence of whatever it is to have integrity. You want it to have its own value. You want it to be maintained in its essence, right? And a lot of times assimilation means that it doesn't, right? We think of assimilation in pretty negative terms a lot of times, right? So rather we want to think of, oh, this is a transmission. I'm going to be transmitting these ideas, right? These possibilities, these potentials, this insight that I'm receiving. And I'm going to do it at the right time, in the right situation, with the right people. And that's how you help it to have its own integrity. You maintain its essence, but you also honor it and you cherish it, you value it, right? Rather than throwing it away in a place where it's not going to be heard or honored or received, right? And you don't want to do that. We still have Mars lighting up the gate 12, which is coming off here of the throat. And the 12 is known as the channel. Okay. And so it is an energy for being able to express those insights, right? If you imagine that this energy is coming down through that 4323, then it's going through the throat and out here through that 12, right? It's channeling the insights that are coming in that are being transmitted, right? And so we've got energy coming, two different ways of transmission and expression or channeling that is coming through that knowing circuit. And Mars is the spiritual warrior. I know a lot of times in human design, we talk about Mars as kind of like our immature aspect, the part of us that needs to grow up, which is true if we're expressing Mars as the god of war, right? Which is just aggressive. This is my ruling planet, so I know this one, right? But when Mars grows up, Mars becomes the spiritual warrior. And Mars has this incredible power to be able to be, a peaceful warrior for the betterment of all, for the upliftment of humanity, for the expression of higher consciousness, right? And so Mars is really saying, okay, we're going to be receiving through this portal of new beginnings, these downloads, these insights, right? And we're going to be transmitting them, and we're going to be channeling them out, and we're going to do this in a way that is really in alignment with the highest good for everyone involved. It's a very powerful configuration that we're going to be having during this time. And then just as a reminder, the nodes, right? The nodes have been in the 1 and the 2 for several months now, and they're still just lighting up, the magnetic monopole, which is the 2, which is also where Uranus is right now. And the magnetic monopole is the energy of magnetism that our heart has. It's attracting everything to us. And then the 1 is our life purpose, right? It's how we're putting how we're feeling our purpose really in the identity center, right? And so there's just so much going on in this knowing circuit. And I encourage you to find out more about it, look at where it is in your chart, learn about these gates in more detail, see how you can step into them and utilize this energy, see how you can support other people in your life to really utilize them and, express them more in their lives. Because I really think, and I said this in one of my videos on intuition, is I think intuition is going to save us. I think it is the path. And this is a hugely important transit for us for opening up that path. So let's make the best of it. All right. I also want to let you know that today, my virtual retreat center, Becoming Sovereign, is opening. So you can look down in the description for the link. And I really encourage you to join us. I invite you projectors. I'm giving you generators something to respond to, and the manifestors and the reflectors will feel into it if it's right for them, right? But this is a space where we're going to get to connect with each other, to workshop together. I will be there. I'm going to be doing 3 live events every month. And I'm also going to set up situations where you guys get to connect with each other. You'll get to find out about other things that I'm doing. There'll always be a free level. Everything's going to be free until the beginning of January. And even then, it's going to be very affordable. Okay, sliding scale. And so I just encourage you to come and do this. What I have seen in human design is that a lot of people get very, very interested in it, and they learn a whole bunch of stuff, but then they feel really isolated. And, they may watch my videos, but they're watching them alone. Maybe they don't have a lot of friends or people in their lives who are also into human design, or maybe they have people who even think human design is bogus or something like that, right? And so I want to provide an opportunity and a space, a virtual retreat center, where we can gather as people who are interested in human design and also in feminine sovereignty, which is my body of work. So we'll be bringing that in as well. So we can do deconditioning together. We can work on our sacral skills. We can work on strategy and authority in general. We can work on openness and definition. There's so many things that we can really dive into together. So right now, it's totally free. All you have to do is register, and you'll get to come to the first live event that I have that's going on this Wednesday called 3 Keys to Living Your Human Design. So I hope you'll join us. Many blessings. Much love. Bye for now.